Hello, 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 and happy Monday. I hope you've had an amazing weekend. Today, we are talking about how to validate your offers for maximum success. This is all about not launching without validating. And I just want to start by sharing a story. But first, if this is your first time joining me, my name is Letitia. I am the market research strategist for new coaches. I help you leverage market research so that you can increase your revenue, increase your impact, and ev- essentially increase your freedom in your business. And when I came into coaching, because I am a life coach, I'm a certified life coach. When I came into coaching, I didn't know anything about marketing, I didn't know anything about sales. What I knew to do was take my experience from 7 years in law enforcement, take my experience from 13 years of data analytics, and start having a lot of conversations so that I am able to understand the people that I was looking to serve. As a result of that, I was able to create programs based on what I was told, and I was able to move away from my 9 to 5 in a very short period of time. I then harnessed my understanding of the market research process that I had created, and I now teach that to my clients. And today we're talking about validating offers. There was a time that I, like many coaches, created offers off of inspiration. I would have this idea that I think would be amazing to the people that I was looking to serve. I would create this offer. I would spend so much time creating an offer, and then crickets. And one particular time, I had created a group program based on a one-to-one program that was doing really, really well. What I failed to do was validate it. And I was quite disappointed because I knew the process worked. I had receipts. I had receipts. But because I didn't validate certain aspects of my new program, it didn't do well. And what that taught me is, you know, I have to change the way that I'm doing this. I don't want to keep hearing crickets. I don't want to have launches that fail. So rather than continue to just act on inspiration, I'm going to find a way to validate my process prior to selling it. And that's what I'm going to teach you now. I know we have all been there. Pouring out blood, sweat, and tears into an offer and launch it, and it's crickets, right? So, what if you could know your offer will succeed before you launch it? Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be amazing? And that is exactly what we're going to be talking about today. So, I know that as coaches, you are tired of wasting your time, money, and energy on offers that don't sell. You are frustrated because you know that you can help change your ideal clients' lives, but you are deflated because you are seeing failed launch after failed launch after failed launch. And a lot of times, the issue is not in the offer. A lot of times the issue is in how you articulate it. However, when you are having these failed launches after failed launches, you are often saying to myself, well, my ideal client obviously doesn't want this. Or what if my price isn't wrong? You start harping on all of the things that you do wrong. And I want to talk about how things can be so different if you implement this one step into your process. You can start having confidence that what you are offering is actually wanted by your ideal clients. You'll have more successful launches, and you will be in better alignment with what your audience truly wants. And I know as coaches, as business owners, that's what we want. We don't want to be trying to figure out how things work. We want to be able to be effective. We want to be able to really show up and spend our time not in the marketing of the thing, but in the actual doing of the thing, so that we can be impactful, so that we can start changing our ideal clients' lives. So, again, imagine what it will feel like to be launching with certainty that your offer is exactly what your ideal clients is craving. And that is where the validation comes into place. So I'm going to break this down into four steps that I teach within the market research mastery method. Um, and I work on with my clients when we do work one to one. This is all about validating your offer so that you're not wasting your time and you're not wasting your energy. So, step number one is idea validation. It's ensuring that your idea resonates with your ideal client before you create anything. This should be part of your market research process. Going out, having conversations with your ideal client, really understanding what it is that they want. What is their problem state? What is the desired state? And creating the steps that are required to get your ideal client from problem to desire in a way that they want it to be sold. And the best way to do this is you having one-to-one conversations. I am a big supporter of one-to-one conversations over polls on the internet, on social media. But if you do have a very engaged audience, surveys, polls, they are all useful. It could even be just a simple question of, I'm looking to, I don't know, create a new offer. Which of these options would be more suitable for you? I always say, if you're going to do a poll, be prepared to take it a step further. People who engage with your poll, you then go and have further conversations so you can understand why they came to that answer, which will actually give you the opportunity to truly serve your ideal clients in a way that's going to be beneficial for them. And if obviously, if you're solving problems for your ideal client that is going to be beneficial for them, they will buy from you. Now, this, as we go through the four steps, I'm going to be walking you through a process that one of my clients went through. So we're going to talk about Lynette today. So Lynette was a coach who had been in the coaching space for 4 years. She had done a lot of pro bono coaching. She was ready to start creating a program that she could sell. And she worked with me and we went through this process. So she started with the market research questions. As Because she was working with me, we sat down and we came up with questions that she needed to ask her ideal client. And the biggest question that we spent time focusing on is, if I created a program for you to solve this problem, what would it look like? And as a result of this market research that she did, she was able to see that a lot of her ideal clients wanted a program very similar to what she was thinking about offering. So if you have offer ideas, I want you to share them with me as you're watching this. And I want to know your offer ideas. Have you yet validated it? So drop some comments in the comments if you're following along with me, and I will definitely either bring it up on the screen so we can discuss it further, or I'll circle back to have a conversation with you. So Lynette had conversations with at least 10 people asking this exact thing. If I was to create a program to help you solve this problem, what would that program look like? So once she got that answer, it was about pre selling it. So she sat down and she started drafting out these steps that she would use in her program to help her ideal client go from problem state point A to desired state point B. Once she did that, she went back to the people who gave her feedback on what their ideal offer would look like. And she started offering an early bird discount to the people who were willing to walk through the beta version of her offer. She was able to sell, I want to believe it was 6 spots in this beta run. Um, so she has now validated her offer. She has people now willing to pay for this offer by raising their hand, right? So the point of this pre-sale is to sell the offer before it's created, to test demand and the willingness to pay. So often tell my clients, if you are going to do a beta offer, I don't believe in giving away beta offers for free. Charge a price. This gauges how people are going to react and interact with your offer. As a result, Lynette got 6 spots filled in her first round of this group program that she was developing. That validated the offer once again. So I want to know, if you're watching this, have you tried to pre-sell any offers? And please share with us how that went. The next step in validating an offer is conducting beta testing, and that means offering the product or service to a small group of testers in exchange for feedback. Again, I don't believe in running a beta group um, for free. Even if you charge $17, you it's an exchange for your time and your expertise. But the point of the beta group is to walk through the offer that you are looking to create. Anytime that I have run a beta group, I've always asked for feedback at every single step. How was this for you? What was your takeaways? What was the transformation you experienced as a result? This in itself is market research, really sitting back and taking time to analyze the information that you receive from people who are on this beta run with you. You can create the group, run it at a discounted rate, and then take that feedback to really build a solid foundation for the offer when you offer it at full rate. And as Lynette went through this process, she got a lot of feedback: what was working, what wasn't working, what she needed to add, what she needed to take away. A huge portion of this was the accountability for her clients. It wasn't present initially, but as she grew, hi Marsha, as she grew and was able to take that feedback, she was able to create a program that would answer her ideal client's needs and desires in that moment. And that is why you want to be beta testing. I see a lot of coaches in this space just coming out with offers, and they say, well, I can't sell it because I don't have any receipts to see that it worked. You want to walk through this process to make sure that the core of your offer, that offer promise, is actually being fulfilled. This is your opportunity to test it. And again, I feel that a lot of coaches create coaching programs based on the things that they've walked through themselves. But it's key to recognize, just because a process worked for you does not mean it's going to work for others. You really want to spend that time working with your ideal client and really seeing the outcomes of your offers, so that it's solid moving forward. So Lynette went through her beta testing. We sat down with her feedback and we made changes to her offer before we launched it again. This allowed her to have a more polished and successful launch the next time she launched this group program, because she knew what worked, she knew what didn't work, and she was able to tweak things so that she ensured that the core promise of her offer was actually a reality. She wasn't selling people oranges when it was really apples in the bag. Her ideal clients were getting the results that she was promising. Marsha says the core of the offer promise is actually being fulfilled. This is key. I'm working through this powerful information. Yes. And I hope you don't mind me sharing, Marsha, but I'm in a beta program for you right now. And I think this is such an important place to be in your offer creation. This is the time that you work out all the kinks. This is the time where you find out what is missing. You fill those gaps so that the next time you present this to your ideal clients, you are certain that you are presenting an offer that actually delivers, right? That's important. Delivering what you promise. So once you've done the idea validation through having conversations with your ideal client, once you have spent the time to pre-sell the offer, once you've gone through and conducted your beta testing, now it's time to gather all the feedback and iterate. This is where the changes happen. Now, what I suggest after a beta program is to sit down and have interviews with the people that you walked through the process with. This is the feedback, using the feedback to refine your offer before full launch. Now, obviously, you can have a questionnaire, a survey, or get them to write about their experience. But the reason why I always suggest interviews is because it allows you to ask follow-up questions. You may say to your ideal client who's going through your beta testing, was this successful? And they may just say simply yes. You want to know why it's successful. You want to know the residual impact of the work that you have done with them. And I've talked about this in a previous video. One of the key things to know as a coach is the residual impact of the transformation that you usher in for your ideal client. And you won't get that, in my opinion, with a simple survey. This is a conversation. How did walking through this process help you? In what way? In what way, right? And dig deeper. Oftentimes you will get outcomes that you did not anticipate. And a good example of this is previous. I was working with a nutrition coach. She thought that the residual impact of her services was simply helping people to have a better relationship with food and to lose weight. But as a result of sitting down and having conversations rather than just a simple follow up survey, she was able to see that the residual impact of her services was bigger than that. She was literally changing people's lives. She was helping people out of depressive states as a result of changing the way that they eat. She would not have known that had she not had conversations. And when she now talks about her offers, this is something that she can say. This is part of her core promise. Changing the way you eat can change your life because she has the receipts for that, right? So you want to sit back and go through the process of analyzing how you felt delivering it. Is this aligned with what you want as a coach and how you want to impact other people's lives? But also spend that time going through the feedback from the people who have done the actual process. And then taking that and making changes to your content, to the way that you articulate the value of your offer, even to some of the outcomes that you promise as a result of them working through this process. And you can do this again by having these conversations and then doing some self-reflecting. What else can I do to help my ideal clients move on if you're getting feedback that your ideal clients are not getting the results that you thought they would get as a result of walking through your offer. Now I know this is a lot, but and I said I was going to give you an example of Lynette. We spent a lot of time on her core offer, on her group program. Now this is after a period of her serving in this space without making any money. Her very first launch of this program, once she went through this validation process, she sold out that group program. She had to offer a second group program because she had so many people sign up for this. This process of validating your offers is what's going to bring you success in your business. That's what's going to allow you to stand out as an authority because you know exactly what your ideal clients need and you know what you're offering works. You validated it. So people have actually raised their hands saying, you know what, this is what I want. You have pre-sold it. So you have people who have actually bought the program before you've created it. You have gone through the beta testing, so you know that it works. And you've made changes based on the feedback that you have gotten to make sure that the product that you are offering your ideal clients is top notch. Now, the mistakes that I see a lot of people make, a lot of coaches make in this space, is they rely too heavily on assumptions. And I feel like I say this every time I go live. Stop assuming. You know what they say about assumptions? You make a double ASS uh, out of you and me, or a double S out of you and me when you make assumptions. When you ignore feedback, I see oftentimes coaches may ignore feedback. You end up with a product that is not aligned with that core promise of your offer. And coaches are often afraid to put their offer out there because it's not completed. I don't want to see you spending 20 plus hours creating a program, making videos and content and handouts and a sales page for it to all fall flat. This one simple step allows you to know that everything that you are doing is intentional. You are creating this offer because somebody wants it. You are doing all of this work because somebody wants it, right? So many of us get burnt out because we're doing all of this extra work in our business that we don't need to do. You don't need to create 50 offers when your ideal client only needs one, but you will only know that if you spend the time validating this process. So, the way that you can overcome the frustrations that come from the mistakes that coaches make is embrace feedback as a gift. You know, sometimes we don't want to hear that what we're doing isn't working. But in order for us to be the best coach that we can be, to be the authority, to be the subject matter expert in the area that we are serving, we need to be able to take feedback on. We need to be able to take on that feedback and make changes, right? So I mean, no matter what we do, we are here to serve our ideal clients and they need to come first. So we shouldn't look at feedback as something that is negative. This gives us an opportunity to grow and really to position ourselves as that go-to expert. We also need to be open and flexible when it comes to refining our offers, right? Again, this is about our ideal client. If our ideal client does not want 20 hours of video, spending 20 hours recording videos is not going to help you reach your ideal client. You put in the effort and into the things that are going to make you money. And the only way that you know this is by doing that market research, by validating your offers. So I hope that you have found this helpful. I know Marsha's saying this is powerful. We do rely too heavily on assumptions. I want to, first of all, invite you to a mini session with me. I know a lot of coaches struggle with creating offers because they don't understand their ideal client. So I am offering 3 people who are watching this live a mini 20-minute session with me to get clarity on their ideal client. That I mean, this is the core of your business. If you do not know your ideal client with intimate level detail, you will struggle to create offers. You will struggle to validate those offers because you are going to be working from a place that is not grounded in data. So I'm inviting three people to take me up on this offer on a mini session. You can either scan this QR code that's in front of you or message me mini, and I will provide you with that information. But if you are a coach who has really struggled with understanding how to show up and create offers, again, I want to invite you to this month's strategic offer creation challenge. It's a 3-day challenge where I walk you through the things that you need to know about your ideal client to create offers that sell out without hesitation, and how to take the information that you learn about your ideal client to effectively create offers, how to articulate those offers that that um that connect with your ideal clients in their problem state, where they are in this moment. This challenge has been not been around for a whole year, but I can tell you the feedback from this challenge has always been amazing. There hasn't been someone who has taken this challenge that hasn't walked away with a new perspective on how to approach their ideal client. Again, your ideal client is exactly who you are here to serve. And if you don't have enough information about that, everything else that you do in your business will fall flat. And I mean, it sounds harsh, but it's true. So today we talked about validating an offer. You have an idea, you validate that, you then pre-sell it, you run it through beta testing, and then you gather feedback and iterate so that the next offer that you are bringing to the table is the ones that is a one that your ideal clients want. Validating your offer is not just a nice to have, it is a must. It is the difference between launching an offer with confidence and crossing your fingers and hoping it works. And I say this all the time, we are not in the business of throwing spaghetti in the wall. When we take data driven action based on what we learn from our ideal clients, that is when we have success in our business. I want you to really think about this. Think about every successful launch as a stepping stone towards business and the life that you dreamed of. Because we start business to create a different lives for ourselves, whether or not it's time freedom, financial freedom, freedom, because you don't want nobody to tell you what to do. And it all lies in how well you validate your offer beforehand. So I hope this has been helpful. I will be back on Wednesday. So I'm looking to be live here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday around this time. So somewhere between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. British summertime. Um, I hope these lives are helpful. If you are watching the replay, please let me know what your biggest takeaway was. And I will